All right, now let's implement the insert method. So public void insert. We give it a parameter int item. Now, what should we do in this method? There are a couple of things we need to do. If the array is full, we need to resize it. And also, we need to add this new item, the new item, at the end of the current array. Let's not worry about the first step yet. Instead, we're going to do the second step, which is easier. So we want to add this new item at the end of this array. How can we do this? Well, we use the items field. We use square brackets. Now we need to pass an index. What is this index? This index should represent the last item in this array. It's not going to be items.length. It's going to be count. So currently we don't have any items in this array. So the index of the last item, or the place where we should insert the new item, is index 0. Next time we add a new item, the index is going to be 1, and then 2, and 3. So we set items of count to this new item. And then we increment count by 1. Or we can simplify this code, get rid of this line, and increment count over here. So with this expression, first we set items of count to item, and then count is going to be incremented by 1. Let's test our code up to this point. So back to the main class. We're going to call the insert method and pass a couple of numbers, 10 and 20. Now let's run the program. There you go. Beautiful. So let's go back to the array class and implement this scenario. How can we tell if the array is full? That's very easy. We can write an expression like this. If items.length equals count. Now in this case, what should we do? First, we need to create a new array that is larger, let's say twice the size. Then we need to copy all the existing items into this new array. And finally, we're going to set the items field to this new array, because currently the array that the items field is referencing is full. So let's implement each step. First, we need to create a new array. This is pretty easy. We declare an int array. Let's call it new items and set it to a new int array of count times 2. So this new array is twice the size of the old array. Now we need to copy all the existing items. Here we're going to use a for loop, exactly like the for loop we have here. So we need to iterate over all the existing items and reference them using their index. So for int I, we set it to 0. As long as I is less than count, we increment it after each step. Now in each step, we're going to set new items of I to items of I. That is pretty straightforward. Finally, we need to set the items field to this new array. So we set items to new items. Now let's test this. So back to the main class. I'm going to add a couple more items and run the program. Look, now we have a dynamic array that automatically grows as we add new items to it. So now that you understand how everything works, I'm going to go back to the array class and get rid of these additional comments. We don't need these comments because our code is clean and straightforward. We don't need to repeat it. We should only use comments for explaining whys and hows, not what the code is doing. That should be reflected in the code itself. So delete, delete, and delete. Next, we're going to implement the delete operation.